I asked the Final Fantasy Brave Exvius Reddit what they wanted to see in Final Fantasy Resonance. And let's find out what they said. Buenos dias, amigos, soy Vic Grayson. Welcome back to the video. So, like I said in the intro, we're going to be checking out Reddit. In the title, I probably just said community because this is probably what most people are on. Maybe they're on X as well, but I think Reddit just covers a little bit of what the community wants. And so let's go and see what people said. We have 65 comments. We'll go through some of them and see what people say. So I asked, we all know Final Fantasy Resonance is coming out, but what are some things that you wanted to see or hope for to be in the game? And for me personally, I was hoping for, maybe after this game, they're going to release DLC for Season 2, and of course add different things. And as well as maybe they could connect some things to War of the Visions. If you don't know that game, it's another game that's actually in the world of Lapis. And I believe it's actually in the past. You could correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But I believe it takes place in the past before Rain and Laswell. But let me know down in the comments if you know if that's right. Okay, so let's go and look through them. Valuable Sugar says, I want to be able to switch party members mid-battle like Final Fantasy X. Switching visions in battle would be cool too, but that could be left for a sequel. I think this would be pretty good. I think it'd be kind of cool to see, be able to use all party members. This way you could cover your elemental damage the way you needed. I know I watched the IGN video and it's like you can use visions for that, but if you could switch mid-battle, that'd be kind of cool, especially because, if you love all the characters, it's kind of hard to choose. Especially me, I love Rain, Laswell, Fina. And then I think the dynamic of Lid's really good with Zack, with Nicole, with Sakura. There's just so many good characters that it's hard to not choose. For me personally, though, I would say Nicole's my favorite. But then again, to have your elemental coverage, since Nicole is Ice, so is Laswell. So it's kind of hard to choose someone like that. Anyway, let's continue on. Ilazar says, I wanted to shut down and to be unusable for a period of several hours every week. I wanted to give a time period that it will start working again, but then when you try it to use it at that time, I want it to be shut down, but say different endings. Time now. So this is just someone venting what they experienced in the mobile game, saying that the game was shut down. You would try to log in, and it would say it opened, but when you try to get in, it would be a different reason why you can't get into. This is not gonna happen. Hopefully it doesn't happen. That'd be really sad. I know for me, the mobile game wasn't perfect. There's a lot of bad things about it, or not so fun things about it. But the reason why we're getting Final Fantasy Resonance is because some people enjoy it. Most of the people enjoy the game, even with its little minor issues or major issues that it had. DJ Cypher, or Cipher, whatever you want to call Final Fantasy VIII person. Beast meat and gun ears everywhere. Oh yeah. So he wants drops. He wants a bunch of drops. Which I think that should be, hopefully that's in the game. I don't know, let me down in the comments if you know there is crafting in the game, because I think there should be. I mean, in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius and the story mode, when you killed monsters dropped items, beast meat, there's a bunch of that stuff that always dropped, and so maybe you'll be able to craft potions and things like that. This is pleasant to fix. It's probably going to be safe for the sequel or DLC, but I want my man Hyo to be in the game somewhere. Hyo, I would say probably you're right. It probably would be safe for Season 2, since Hyo is when he's introduced in Season 2. So hopefully that'd be really cool. Someone said he would make a fun teaser super boss. That'd be actually pretty cool though. If they before they release Season 2, they boom, who's this Darth Vader looking guy? That'd be pretty cool. And then they go on saying, yeah, probably Season 2. What does this guy say? It says, Sichla Paradoxin, if I pronounce that right. Being able to mix and match tons of equipment, even to the point of feeling cheesy, such as stacking elemental resistance and dodge. Okay. I assume what they're saying is so in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, you can equip, armor, headpiece, chest piece, extra accessories, weapons, shields, and I think that'd be kind of cool. Because you can build a dodge build, right? Like he's saying, or an elemental resistance build, where certain bosses are certain elements, so you can build an infinite resistance where you just take no damage. I think that'd be kind of fun. I would say it would probably I'm assuming if it's going to be in the game, it's probably because you were grinding hard in the game and you got all the equipment you needed to be able to do that. And in the end game, like you'll be able to overcome everything because of that. I hope they have equipment systems. That'd be really cool. Um, because the next one by Abaddon says the trials, especially the Chamber of Arms, since the boss is unique of FFBE. So and then someone says, I know the Chamber of Arms and the 4 trials have been confirmed. Now, if I remember right, the Chamber of Arms is you go into the, like it's a Moogle world, Moogle dimension. And in this Moogle dimension, there's this room with a bunch of weapons and armor and shields and things like that. And if you defeat the boss, you get that weapon, you get the armor, and you'll be able to equip it. So hopefully there are equipables. I mean, there has to be. There's no way there isn't. And then with the 4 trials, there's just 4 different bosses that also drop weapons and different buffs. I wonder if they're going to have that in the game where you have like the 4 little passive buffs to equip to your character. I don't know if that's going to be in there. That'd be kind of cool though, because that's what things, that's what the 4 trials drop. So hopefully that's what they do. That'd be kind of cool. I'm really excited though. I didn't think about the Arc Chamber of Arms. I wonder where it's going to be unlocked, how hard the bosses are going to be. Is it going to be an endgame thing? If so, that'd be kind of cool. That means that you would have something to do in the endgame after you beat the first season. Someone says a brand new Coliseum mode are confirmed. So I assume, I'm pretty sure there was something similar to this, which I'm pretty sure the Coliseum mode was you would go in and then you would fight bosses. So not bosses, but just, enemies upon enemies until you would lose, which maybe you could get some cool stuff from that. I have no idea. So this is at least that's been shown, but it's possible I doubt they've shown off everything in the game so far. Like people focusing on the amount of visions, and I'm like, there's probably a lot more that they just haven't shown or are keeping hidden for players to discover. Because we've seen global exclusive characters like Fravia used in marketing images, but she hasn't been showcased in the game yet. So I'm sure she's a hidden vision, secret vision players will be able to discover. Or I could be wrong. But I just don't think they show everything off. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of secrets. I agree. I think they're probably holding off a ton of other stuff. I mean, even with like espers, right? Like it says that there's going to be, secret dungeons to find to be able to get, different espers to equip to your party. And maybe that's the same way with the visions. I'm pretty sure it's the same with the visions. So finding secret dungeons where you unlock different things. Like I think it'd be really epic. You know how Elena is a comic character and like you go into a library, you open a book and you get teleported into a dungeon and you fight Elena's villain and you get Elena as a vision. I think that'd be super sick. I might be saying it wrong. Is it Elena? Elena? I think it's Elena. Forgive me. I think it's Elena. Anyway, but I think that'd be really cool. Okay, someone else says post-game content, super bosses. The trials of challenges FFBE were easily the best part. Okay, yeah. So this is like the end game content. I agree. I think that'd be really cool. I would have liked to have more FFBE original visions in the game instead of using the usual pro tags from the other game. Okay, I see what you're saying. So instead of like from characters from the main staples from Final Fantasy 1 through 16, they want to see characters like Elena, Esther, Fravia. Who else is original? There's a bunch of other originals. Maybe even I think they're going to have the Verituses. Maybe I think like Veritus of the wind, Veritus of the water, ice, dark, light, all those characters. I think maybe those could be visions potentially. I think that'd be kind of cool. And then if you defeat them, then you'll get them as a vision. That'd be kind of cool. Castilla says Ayaka was in one of the screenshots. She's also in the story of season 1, if I'm not mistaken. We'll see some of the FFBE characters, maybe the ones with CG moves / limit bursts. Yeah, I agree. I think that'd be good. Kendra says, I want the game to have a substitute for Spark system in some way. I think battles based solely on staggered bars are getting repetitive in SC games. I agree. I think with the staggered thing, it's very repetitive. I do agree. So do you mean chaining or do you mean limit burst? I want to say maybe both. Like honestly, like I really enjoyed how Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, the mobile game, how chaining worked, and it was really nice to use abilities first, and then you could use you know, your attacks to chain and stuff, and timing was really important. I don't know how they could, you know, implement that. I think it's possible to implement that in the turn-based gameplay, but I'm assuming hopefully there are some things that they could do to make it more engaging. But yeah, I do think it will be repetitive. Hopefully they find a way to make it more engaging. Sato Saran said, I really want Season 2. I really like the direction it went. Season 3 would be awesome too, especially because it's when the true cutting of content started. Missing story characters, exploration, towns, NPCs, etc. To get a fully expanded Season 3 would definitely make it better. Also, I'm hoping we can get a seasonal and collab units, Xenogears, Chrono Cross, etc. I was a dolphin in FFBE, and by Gundrears, I'll be one for Resonance if there's DLC. Someone commented to him saying, I don't think there'll be any collabs. The other FFB characters are kind of collabs already. If the main game sells, well, maybe they'll add a DLC for each season after. Season 2 had my favorite FFB arc, so here is hoping. Yeah, so I think, in my opinion, if we get enough people to buy the game, and I don't know, so if Final Fantasy Brave Exvius or if Final Fantasy Resonance is received well, and people enjoy the game and they get a lot of good feedback, then they're going to probably make Season 2 like, you know, another DLC or a DLC for the game because, you know, money. If this game does well, then they're probably gonna be able to release more seasons. And so I think if we want this to happen, we should probably let people know, hey, you should probably play this game. I mean, there's a lot of people who don't even know what FFBE is that will probably still buy this game and probably want, you know, are willing to play this game if they know, you know, hey, it's a turn-based game, and some people are just, you know, like that turn-based RPG. And so I think maybe if we start selling it to our friends, family, and stuff, I think that'd be really good for the environment of the game, especially because if we want that Season 2, Season 3, then we're definitely going to have to help the game do well. Boognish Jones says, as long as they keep the music from Ajamasu composed, I'll be happy. My kids would fall asleep listening to a lot of those songs when they were babies and will still listen to the soundtrack 10 years later. Holds a very special place in my heart. I agree. I think the music's super great. And I hope they do keep the music. I'm pretty sure it said they're going to have all the same music plus more songs as well. So I'm excited to hear all these music. Hopefully they're also composed by, I could be pronouncing this wrong, but Agamasu, but I don't know. But yeah, I'm excited to hear the original soundtrack and as well as some new Final Fantasy Resonance originals. So I'm pretty excited about that. S-Unit Alpha says, I'm really hoping for some sort of repeatable content, like hoping there's a reason to keep playing in the Coliseum they've mentioned, in some sort of way so that there's a reason to keep leveling characters' visions and trying different vision ability builds. Also, it seems like it's settled that there's only 26 visions, but I would be happier if they were just all, if that was just all they released, and secretly it turns out there's at least a couple of visions per Final Fantasy game. It would have been cool if there were 4 visions per Final Fantasy game, so you can make a team with visions from a single Final Fantasy and have Coliseum areas that encourage, at least thematically encourage, building a team around the same FF Final Fantasy. With just 26 visions, or only 9 are from FFBE, including some that didn't feel like important characters, and 17 are from the main Final Fantasy games. They're the obvious ones. Okay, so I kind of get what they're saying. Like, they want to be able to keep playing the game after beating the story, and I agree. Maybe they'll do Story Plus, like most Final Fantasy games have, where you just do it again. It's just in harder mode, and then after that, like, you can, you know, do the call stuff. That'd be really good. And I agree. Like, 26 visions is hard. I don't think they'll show all of them. I think there'll be some secret ones. I know, like they said, they're like, you know, here are the 26 visions, or, you know, but like someone said it before, we talked about, like, maybe there'll be some secret ones as well. Shadow Frog Gaming says, Reagan, that's all. I just need daddy. We need daddy Reagan. I don't mind. Someone said chaining. I agree. I love this part of the game. I remember pulling Onion Knight, setting up my macros on the iPhone, and having a lot of fun. Good times. Chaining's fun. I hope they are able to implement chaining. That'd be really cool. As Deathy 2004 says, for either continuations of other seasons like 2, 3, 4, or just the global units like Elena. Other fundamental forces characters, especially Cho and Ibarra. Yeah, that's interesting. And if that's too much to ask for, it'd be nice if they tried to implement most FFB things to the game, like some people saying, Trial of Arms. I really hope it just does well enough to keep up with either DLC or further games to keep the FFB story alive. Yeah, so the same thing. It's really all about money, right? So if it does good enough, they'll probably release DLC, and hopefully we get at least a season 2. Even, I mean, it'd be cool to get a season 4, right? But at least season 2, because I think that's where it's really cool. YT Redemption says, I think it would be awesome to have a progression level capped until bosses of trials are defeated, like Tactical Ogres Reborn, where you stop gaining experience till you defeat them, or we are forced to play some more. Remember those days and hard trials, and not just the grind levels and one hit killing everything. Granted, one would be able to return and redo trials whenever they wanted after first kill. Interesting. Okay, I see what you're saying. So I'm assuming you're saying, like in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, like you could go through the story easy peasy, like every character could one shot everything, and it wasn't like there wasn't like, you know, thinking. I think they probably won't do level caps, but they would probably make it hard to level up, you know, past whatever, because you don't gain that much experience to, you know, whenever you kill enemies. And same with like maybe like you go into, you know, a different game mode and you can gain experience. I hope it's not like that. I hope the different game modes, instead of gaining experience, it's more of gaining weapons and equipment. But then again, I think there's maybe with level cap, I think there's like a level cap to even enter into different game modes. So I think you should be okay with like not being over leveled in games or in the fights. And so I think I think we're good there. Truelet says, I want to know what was in the area that was locked in the Moogle town. Yes, that'd be kind of cool. That'd be kind of interesting because, yeah, we don't know. Unless someone, maybe I just don't know what was inside that room, because it was like, hey, you can't get in there. So maybe they'll open that room up for something like a new mode or something. B-Red says, FF style optional super bosses, all the wild units customization that was possible. Season 2 with more everything. Glex units. I would think that'd be really cool. Because someone was mentioning, you know, more visions, have 4 of each, so you can create a team with 4 of each. And if you had the Final Fantasy style bosses, or optional super bosses, I'm assuming. So in the game, like there was like you could fight Arden from Final Fantasy 15, and you know characters from Final Fantasy 15, you know, were able to do more damage and got buffs. So I think that'd be really cool to see that. And so I hope that'd be in the game too. I don't think it'll be in the beginning, but maybe that'd be like a new DLC, or maybe it's already in the game. That'd be pretty cool to see too, though. So I agree. I think that'd be really cool. The villains, not just Final Fantasy 7 as Visions, Ramza, Vlad. Okay, that's interesting. And maybe going back to the B-Red, maybe if they do have those super bosses, like after you defeat that super boss, you're able to unlock their vision. So I think that'd be really cool. Some people said, the Enforcer said, some collabs, mainly Xenogears for me, chambers with different unique weapons and gears. I would like chaining back or something like that to an extent. Very satisfying and perfect in getting along chains off. Maybe some type of Easter egg where you get one of your visions by getting the rainbow crystals and cracking it open for nostalgia purposes. I think that'd be kind of cool. Finding some way to get the rainbow crystals and then, you know, unlocking different visions. I know there's not going to be any gacha, but maybe there's a way we can still enjoy some type of thing like that where you can, you know, look at the crystals for nostalgia. They'll probably have to. I don't know if they'll do that, but I think it'd be really smart for them for the nostalgia. I hope it releases tomorrow so I can play my comfort game again. Okay. A hard mode at the start of the game. I guess with the hard mode, I'm assuming you think like the game will not be difficult because of how easy it was in the mobile game. But maybe they'll just like, you know, increase the difficulty. And so maybe we won't need a hard mode. I know with most Final Fantasy games, they'll have the story mode plus. So you're guaranteed to have a hard mode at the end of the game. I want a mini game where you can farm some sort of less important currency and use it to gamble. Summon for white to blue to gold rainbow crystals, which can give some non-essential gameplay bonuses like character animations or favorite old units like Esther. I don't know if they'll do that. Because then I can see people complaining like, oh, I gotta farm for currency to get this. And even though it doesn't matter, like it's not like like it's gonna affect the game or things like that. But I think it would be cool. I enjoy summoning. I think like with gacha games, there's a reason why they work, and so I think it would be fun to add it in there. And it's super easy to farm the currency, so it's not like, you know, you have to pay to roll, and like they can do a pity system. But I don't know. What do you guys think about this comment? I enjoy rolling, but we'll see. Good zookeeper game said I just want nice towns with shops and side quests. It took from Final Fantasy 12 all the way to Rebirth to get good towns and side quests again. I agree. I think it'd be really cool to have a really cool side quest where, you know, there's actually dialogue, and it even takes you to a dungeon to unlock secret stuff. For example, like you could do a side quest, like maybe, I don't know, like don't quote me on this, but the town is flooded, and it's like a piece of the town that's flooded, and you go fight Leviathan because he's the one that's causing the flood, and it's that side quest that, you know, leads you to the Esper Leviathan, and then you unlock him. So I think that'd be kind of cool, especially with the pretty towns, you know, different people to talk to, different side quests, different little secrets you could find. Maybe a new card game, huh? Card game of Final Fantasy Resonance? No, I'm just kidding. That'd be kind of fun. I think it'd be kind of cool. Let's see. I mean, people are just saying, you know, they want more Final Fantasy Brave Exvius Originals and Visions. That makes sense. Definitely released as DLC. I think they might. I think they're guaranteed to have some DLC. It might not be, you know, season 2 right away, but at least like Visions. Like they'll definitely sell Visions as DLC, and hopefully that does well. Someone says, I just want Elena in the game, man, and I'm good. Someone says, I want Ignis Gladio Prompto in the game so I can spend another game traveling with the Chocobros. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. And then the final person said, paid gacha mechanics because I'm a degenerate whale. Yeah, not happening. Not happening. That's the whole point, is to get rid of the gachas. So, and as well as to people to enjoy the Final Fantasy Brave Exvius story. But yeah, it looks like this is what everyone said in the Reddit. Let me know down in the comments what you guys want for in Final Fantasy Resonance. Also, subscribe, because I want to be covering more Final Fantasy Resonance content, and as well as just Final Fantasy, Square Enix, and anime games. Like I'm just a nerd, so hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day, and as always, stay powerful. Bye.